So, how long was it ago since we talked?
I think that we talked a year ago, and we first talked right after I got the system, which was 2 years ago.
Right. Wow.
It's 2 years ago.
Time flies.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I guess what I wanted to talk to you about is that summer 2 years ago, I was very depressed. It was very, very bad. Because when you have chronic fatigue syndrome and you have PTSD together, you're very sick.
Right.
And the regular doctors don't know how to get you out of it. They just give you more pills and more pills and more pills. Okay. So I got the system and I had it for that summer. And that summer I started to use it on May 10th, 2 years ago. By May 15th or May 16th, I was able to ride my bicycle around my village and not get tired. Which was for me something very difficult before because I have chronic fatigue. I would, ride maybe a few hundred meters and I have to stop. And then all of a sudden, within 5 days, I could just ride my bicycle. And one of my friends said to me, it looked as if you were in a bicycle race.
Wow.
Because I was that So I went, within 5 days of not having much stamina to actually being able to ride a bike and not get tired. It was amazing.
Wow. And the only thing that you had changed was just that you started doing the neurofeedback.
I started to do the neurofeedback, yeah. And it just okay. So that was May. So I was still depressed that summer. I still had still weak, but better. But I was depressed. Oh God, sometimes I was very, very depressed and very anxious. There was at one point where it's kind of difficult to talk about, but it was one morning when I was so depressed because it seemed as if I have two very difficult diseases to treat, and I'm now in my 50s, and I'm sick for over 20 years, and there's no hope of ever getting out of this. And then Harry, my survival instinct said to me, no, go to the next room and go to the brain machine. And I was on the machine for an hour, which is too long for a session.
It's pretty long.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I feel normal again. And of course, back then, to kind of feel normal, I had to do 3 sessions a day from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. And then after each session, I felt like, okay, I feel normal, I feel balanced, I feel calm, I feel energized. And then after a few hours, I would go down again. Okay, so that kind of went on for months and months and months. That winter, I did not get sick until after Christmas, which is wonderful because usually I have bronchitis at the end of October, beginning of November. Bronchitis, the inhaling medications,
right.
And okay, so I got sick after Christmas. So not bad.
Right.
So that's like a few months into that, okay, I was better. Then the spring came and I was better, so I was still 3 sessions a day, and I varied the points on my head. So I just kept going and going and going. Last winter, I did not get sick at all. And usually I'm sick the whole winter.
Wow.
Other people were sick, who have normal immune systems. I don't have a normal immune system, and I wasn't sick. That's a major step.
Yeah.
That's like, my doctor was like, "Oh, you're not back," you know.
He was expecting you, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am her favorite patient. So where's my favorite patient?
Oh, boy.
You know. I mean, Harry, years and years ago, before I discovered neurofeedback, I had a sinus infection every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So for me to have a winter that is nothing, with like nothing, you know.
For the whole winter.
For the whole winter.
Wow.
Well, maybe a little sore throat, maybe just a little bit, but you know.
Not the usual.
Not the usual. Harry, it's like I have a sore throat, I go to bed, within 6 or 12 hours it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never like that for years. It'd be a sore throat, sinus problems, sinus infection, throat infection, bronchitis. It was awful. And now this winter was like, nothing happened. You know, it was like, you know, knock on wood or knock on my own head or something like that. Okay. So then, I'm dealing with an immune system problem because I was shot in the eye with a BB gun 24 years ago, and I have what's called chronic fatigue syndrome. And I've been sick for a very long time, and there is supposedly no real cure for this, except that a lot of people are helped with neurofeedback. So, okay. And I also have post-traumatic stress disorder. It turns out that I was not only abused as a child, turns out that I was abused as a baby. So the PTSD was with me from the time I was an infant. Okay, so we're dealing with a lot of problems in one 56-year-old head. It's a lot of problems, a lot of brain problems. Okay, so you know, I keep going with my sessions, and I keep going, and I keep going. About 6 months ago or 5 months ago, I started to have these strange dreams, and I would wake up very tired. And I said, that's when I realized that the post-traumatic stress disorder can make you very tired. I did not know that until I actually experienced every fiber, every muscle fiber just was tired. Maybe I was dreaming about something, you know, about my mother trying to abuse me or abusing me, or, you know, but I would wake up really like tired, very, very tired, more tired than I'm usually tired. Anyway, so I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is it. The PTSD is making the chronic fatigue worse. It's all in one head, right? So it all, one affects the other. Unfortunately, if I have two heads, it would be much better. I could switch one, you know. Put one in the back, put a new one on. Anyway, okay. So so I started to feel like, okay, this is part of the tiredness. The PTSD is making the chronic fatigue much worse. Okay, so I kept going with my sessions, 2 times a day, 3 times a day, once a day. It depends how I felt. And then all of a sudden, maybe in March or February, that's when the horror started. The horrors were when my brain was trying to get rid of the PTSD. And I knew that it was triggered by the neurofeedback. And I could see all the values go up, but at least 10 points. I'm thinking, what is happening to me? And this was just, you know, the brain trying to readjust itself. So I got all the values down. Okay, and I was normal. And then these things would like hit me. I would be on the street someplace, like walking, and all of a sudden, it's much worse than a panic attack. It feels as if you have a tornado on your head, in your head. It's and your brain is like about to fly away, you know, and then perhaps hit Kansas, you know, and just and you know, you don't know what's happening to you. You're just horror. It was horror. Oh, one time I was in this state, and I actually called my professor who gave me the machine, and I told her what's happening to me, and she talked me for an hour and a half until it went away. So then I had to slow down the neurofeedback,
Right.
because it was you know, it was getting to be too much.
Right.
So I had a few months of these horrors, and these very strange dreams. But very often, you know, it's like I was struggling in my dreams, and I knew that I was struggling with something in my dreams, and then I would wake up feeling good. And then about two or 3 weeks ago, the horrors stopped. You know, that tornado feeling stopped. And it has been replaced by calm, security, self-confidence. Yeah, I mean, self-confidence. I mean, like, you know, like self-assurance, like I know who I am. I'm a much more centered human being. I'm much stronger. Well, because it makes sense, because I have the full use of my brain. You know, I find myself, you know, reading things faster, understanding things faster. I drive better. And I'm thinking of, you know, if this all keeps going, and I'm sure we will make other recordings, that if I keep going, you know, in this direction, I'm going to go back to graduate school.
Great.
You know, because I will have the physical health to get there.
Right.
And I'll have the mental health to study.
Right.
So, you know, so these things, I'm sorry, I have to add something. In the first 6 months of using the machine, I was able to, I know several languages, but I learned Italian from the time I was 19 years old. So when I got sick, and I had depression and I had anxiety, and my mind was so bad that I could like read one sentence in Italian or two, and I would just stop. My brain would just pause, and it could not take in any more information. That's it. And this is a person that was able to like read books in Italian.
Right. Wow.
And then you just stop at a second, like that's it. You just burn. And then, okay, 6 months into the therapy, I could read Italian again.
Wow.
You know, I could read again. So things are coming back. I have not played the piano in a long time, and when I tried last time, it's like my brain was still working slowly.
Right.
But when I get home, I'm going to see if my brain is able to process music again, because it wasn't able to process music the way
interesting.
It was not able to process Italian, you know,
Right,
because it was not something that I did since I was 5 years old, you know. So it just stopped. So you know, I'm just wondering if it, you know, if it'll be able to process music again.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I mean, we'll see,
Yeah.
you know. But it's been a sometimes a rough trip.
Yeah, so you feel like once you went through that period where you had like the dreams and everything.
Yes, and
then when they stopped,
when they stopped,
then you felt almost like the reverse.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Interesting.
You know, because I think, Harry, that when you are abused as a baby, the PTSD is with you from the time your head was like this,
Mm-hmm.
and your brain grew with the PTSD in it.
Yeah.
So then there you are in your 50s,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to rearrange how your brain functions.
Yeah.
You know, that's like over 50 years
Right.
of a brain not functioning right. But there's something about human beings, you know, and the way God created us is that if we go on the right path,
Mm-hmm.
the brain will fix itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you give it the exercises to fix it,
Right.
and then the brain just keeps going
Mhm.
in the right direction,
Mm-hmm.
which is so cool.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Uh-huh. Great.